Finding the number of possible imaginary zeros is kind of tricky, but you know what's easy is finding the number of positive real zeros. We like that one, but this one unfortunately is asking us for imaginary zeros. So go ahead and pause the video, give this one a shot. And if you have no idea, you're like many students out there, then give it a guess and let's see how close we can get. Now, to help us determine the number of possible zeros, we are going to use Descartes' Rule of Signs. And the reason why I say identifying the possible positive roots is easy, because it really is. All you need to do is identify the number of sign changes for your given function g of x. So we look at g of x and we say, all right, anytime I go from a positive term to a negative term or a negative term to a positive term, I am going to represent with a sign change. And you can see positive, no, positive, no, positive to negative. Aha, good. Negative to negative. No, it doesn't count. So what we have is one possible, well, actually it's not possible. We have one positive root that has to occur, right? Now there's a couple things we need to know. First, the fundamental theorem of algebra says the number of zeros that we are going to have for any polynomial, real or imaginary, is going to be equal to the degree of our polynomial. So we need to have 5. We just know, because there's only one sign change, that we have one real positive root. Okay, so what I'm going to do to organize all of this is I am going to create a simple box. And this box is going to help me keep everything organized so I can actually eventually answer this question. Now, I don't like how close that is, so I'm going to bring it down just a little bit, because we found the number of real positive. Okay, right? The real positive is just going to be 1. We know it has to include 1. Now, the fundamental theorem of algebra says we have to have 5. So what other types of zeros could we have? Well, we could have real negative and we could have imaginary. Okay, and that's exactly what we're going to figure out. So we have the negative and then we have the imaginary. All right, but we know we have to have 1. Has to have 1 positive. So how do we figure out the real negative? To do that, we're going to evaluate for g of negative x. So when we do that, I get a negative x to the 5th plus a 3 to the negative x to the cubed plus a 7 times negative x squared minus a 6 times negative x minus a 13. Okay. Now, the important thing to remember, you could do some of this in your head, obviously. Just remember, whenever you have a negative term raised to an odd power, it's going to be negative. Whenever you have a negative term raised to an even power, it's going to be positive. All right, but I'm writing everything out so we can make sure we're not making any mistakes. So a negative x to the 5th is going to be a negative x to the 5th. Negative x cubed is going to be a negative x cubed times a positive. That's now turning to a 3x cubed. Over here, negative x squared, that's even. So now it's a positive x squared. Times 7 is going to be a positive x squared. Negative x times a negative 6 is going to be a positive 6x, and then minus a 13. Okay, we have some sign changes, so let's go ahead and count and see how many we have. So we go from negative, negative, doesn't count. Negative to positive, though, it does count. Positive, positive, doesn't count. Positive to negative, does count. So for the number of negative, we have 2, but the Descartes Rule of Signs says it's the number of sign changes minus an even number. So I can actually subtract 2 from 2 to give me 0. Those are going to be our options, okay? Now let's go and calculate, what about the imaginary? The fundamental theorem of algebra says we have to have 5, okay? So if I have 1 positive, I have to have a 1 positive, but I have 2 negative, then how many imaginary do I have to have? Well, that answer is going to be 2, right? 1 plus 2 plus 2 is 5. What about if I have 1 real positive, none, 0, real negative, then how many imaginary do I have to have? 4. And you can see, guys, the only one that actually said we have, our 2 options are 2 and 4. I'm not really sure why 0, how that can occur. So maybe you guys can let me know in the comments down below, but I think that might be a typo, because if you had 0 here, you have 1 here, you can't have any negative. So I'm pretty sure that 0 should be knocked off. But either way, let me know if you got the same answer as me or exactly why that 0 might have been put there. I can't remember. I'll have to go and look at the question. But if you like problems like this, then go ahead and check out the next video I have for here. Or if you want more resources to help you learn precalculus, check out the description down below. Cheers.